Magnus Health is in the last couple of days, which will answer all those questions. On Monday, we discussed it for half an hour. It's actually a very easy process, but it is a change. So we want to be fair to you guys and let you know what we're doing, because we are going to be strict on the sense that it needs to be completed by the first day of school, which I know a lot of you guys saw in the email. A lot of other independent schools are moving in this direction with Magnus Health. Schools like Palmer, St. Thomas, American Heritage, Miami Country Day. And we asked them, we called and we did our research, and we said, what is one word of advice you could give us for Magnus Health? And they said, whatever you do, have parent trainings. They did not have parent trainings, and change sometimes can be scary, it's different. It's not difficult, and as you guys will see, it's very easy, and it's a lot more practical. I talked to a lot of parents, and they said, the only thing that we do summer mailing for at St. Philip still, if I'm correct, is medical mailings. The packets, you know, the packets you guys get from me, that's what you need. So now everything, instead of waiting for that packet and then losing a form and not knowing when it ended up calling me over the summer and having to turn it in over the summer, everything is going to be online, okay? So if you are pretty tech savvy or whatnot, even if you're not, it's really easy. So we're going to go through it, and you're going to start off with talking.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we realized at St. Philip's that we were lacking in was our medical records, especially when it comes to our students going on field trips. So the process before was we would give a binder to somebody who was going on the field trip to tell that parent or teacher allergies, emergency contact, things like that. Sometimes those binders get stuck on the bus. So this will make it a lot easier for our teachers that are going on field trips. They can pull out their iPhone, their Android phone, and pull up an emergency contact information immediately. They can also pull up, each student is given a Magnus 911 number. That number can be given to fire rescue, heaven forbid, and they can pull up insurance information, emergency contact information, allergy information. So it's going to benefit us more than just keeping our records. Now, when we talk about keeping our records, the main thing that I wanted to make sure is that this company was HIPAA compliant. Is everybody familiar with HIPAA? It's a way of ensuring the records are encrypted, protected, and not visible by anyone that we don't want them to see. So this is a pretty large corporation, and they are 100% HIPAA compliant. To log into Magnus, they've also made it so that they have to recognize you as a parent of St. Philip's. So you cannot go to the Magnus website and log in through their website. You can't go there and create an account. You would have to have an account created through us and linked to a student. So you'd have to be a parent or a guardian. And we would tell them who is and who is not. I have come into two parents from the other training that aren't linked correctly, and they're getting an error. So if you go to log in and you get an error, please email me and I will work on fixing it. I should get it fixed pretty quickly. If you want to read all the HIPAA compliance stuff from Magnus, you can go to magnus.com and they have a whole section on how they're HIPAA compliant. So I'm going to show you quickly how you would log in. Sorry, I'm moving my back. Visit our website. It's real simple. Once you go to our website, you're going to click on login. And again, this is where Magnus has made it so that it has to authenticate not only through their servers, but through our Blackbaud information system. Letting them know that we are parents. This parent is giving you permission to use their login. So once you log into our website, you can go scroll down on the main page, and you're going to have several links on here, Magnus being one of them. If you click on Magnus, it is going to port you over to the Magnus page, and it's going to give you two prompts that you don't see here because I already ran them for this person. The first one is to change your password. You can put anything you want on there. It's not going to use that password. It is going to use your password from Blackbaud. The second one is going to ask you to verify your phone number and your email address. And then the last one is going to have you sign the acceptable use from Magnus. Once you do that, you will be given this video. If you choose, you can watch this video, which is going to basically be everything that we're talking about now. I'm going to close it and hand it off to Nurse Allyce.
Thank you, Edward. So, how did we find Magnus? We had, at the beginning of the year, this year, we got invited to a luncheon, and Digna and I thought we were getting a free lunch, and we had no idea what Magnus Health was. And we go, and it rocked our world. So Digna was actually more excited almost than I was, and she was asking me questions, and we were like the children's corner because St. Philip's, before I came 4 years ago, we didn't have a nurse, so we didn't have much of a health or medical policy or anything going on. So we were sort of just making do, and we were using Blackbaud. And Blackbaud's awesome for what it's used for, but medically it's not very friendly. So we just worked with what we got, and I kept feeling like we really needed something else. We needed something else. We needed something else. So I send out, I would send out that summer mailing, and like I said, people would lose forms, and I mean, it would happen anyway. We'd lose forms, and the thing that is really important to me is the forms sometimes would not be turned in until 2-3 weeks after school. And once again, things happen, you know, we travel, everything, but my main job at this school is to make sure that your children are safe, healthy, everything is intact. I talked to Gulliver, and then they showed me, we had a nurse breakfast here, and the nurse from Gulliver came over, and she said, "Can I see your health policy book? Can I see what you guys have here?" Our health policy is about this big. So I said, I was about to say, yeah, I'll send it over, and I was like, can you send me yours also? She sends me hers, and it's 35 pages, okay? So I was like, oh, I'm still working on mine, I'll send you ours later. So I realized, and I was talking to Dr. Floyd, and I talked to Dr. Herrera, we've met a bunch of times, and I said, well, you know, Gulliver is a lot bigger, it is a lot, you know, there's a lot more students, and Dr. Floyd made a really good point. The way that they're taking care of health students, we need to be taking care of our students. Even though we have a smaller number, it doesn't mean that their parent needs to be taken care of. So all that to say, Magnus really keeps everything together, intact, and like what Edward said, what really sold us is that Magnus 911. When the kids are off campus, they're all going to have, and like Ed said, they're all going to have a 911 number. If the teacher or something gets left behind, or the binder with all that information gets left behind in the bus or something, on your phone there's an app the teachers can pull it up in case of emergency, slow fire rescue, that, all the information's there. If your child's allergic to penicillin, even to ibuprofen, the fire rescue knows they can get that. So really, Magnus, it is a change, it is different, but it's 100% it's a lot safer, it's a lot better, and it's more practical even for you guys, so you can do everything online. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. It's very simple, but we're just going to go over it really quick. Does anyone have any questions so far? Yes, no.
The password, you mentioned that when you go there, the password that you put doesn't matter?
Yeah, when you first log into Magnus through the website, by default, it's going to ask you to change your password. Whatever password you put there is not going to affect your Net Community username and password, which is the password you're going to use.
Okay.
The next time you go to log in, you're going to log in through Net Community, the website, and then it'll just log you in with that password.
Okay.
But by default, Magnus always, that's part of HIPAA, that you don't use their default password, but we're circumventing that by having the Blackbaud password.
Very good.
Okay, so like I said, when you log in, if you have, depending on how many children you have, all your children will be here. If you have 1, if you have 4, it'll be here. So it says, so we got the permission from Jenny to use her children, and for there it says Cecilia has something to do. So it says you have requirements to complete on your to-do list. Simple. So you press complete now. This is your main student health tracker, okay? So when you get here, it says you have 11 requirements to do. If you guys notice up there, it says due August 10th, okay? So I'm going to go through each one. It sounds like it's a lot, but just so you guys know exactly what it is. The first requirement right here, the vital health record, this one actually, Ed and I talked about, it takes about the most time because it's answering student information. But like you could tell, a lot of the information is already pre-populated from Blackbaud. Yeah. So a lot of it, you just have to put in address, and once you guys put this in, unless you change it, it's already there for future years. Okay. So you add in this stuff, health emergency contact. Something I told the group that came on Monday night when we had this training is, which I don't think we've made it clear about it, so I'm sorry from on our part, but for an emergency health contact, I would recommend adding someone else besides a parent. Because sometimes I've had a case here where we have had a child break their bone or dislocate their shoulder or whatnot, and I couldn't get a hold of the parents, so I just called fire rescue. Which is what I would do anyway, but just to have another contact wouldn't hurt. I would recommend at least 2 others that you guys would trust to recommend. And another reason why we want help Magnus is because I don't know if you got, for a lot of you who have someone that you add onto the pickup list, you guys have to call Dave, we put it on, or you bring something in, you have to come in. And that, on Blackbaud, unless we go in every single year or whatnot, the names still stay on there who can pick up. So this year I was cleaning out a lot of the names, and some parents I called said, that person hasn't been allowed to pick up my daughter for 2 years or whatnot. So there's no way, it's really hard to keep it extremely precise, does that make sense? So So in this way, if you have someone that you want to add to pick up or whatnot, you can do it at any time and it's there and it's updated 24 hours a day. Make sense? So insurance, you guys might ask, why do we need insurance? It's in the case of that 911 card, the Magnus 911. Of course, we won't be doing anything with this unless it's in the case of emergency and the child has to go and we can't get a hold of someone for some reason.
Yeah, and part just HIPAA law prohibits, before insurance companies used to use your social security number as your ID number. HIPAA laws have changed that. So if you still have an ID card that has a social, make sure you call the insurance provider. Don't put that in there. We don't want student socials at all.
Yes. So healthcare providers, allergies, medication, and other conditions. Other conditions would be if your child has a history of febrile seizures or nursemaid's elbow, just something there so I can get a whole picture of the child or so we know what's going on there. So then that one takes sort of the most time. We're not going to touch it, but once again, you could start it. It's not like when you start it doesn't save. You could start, finish it later. You have the entire summer to do it. Consent to treat form. This is, like I said, in the case that we can't reach anyone, that we take the action of calling fire rescue or doing what we believe is necessary. So consenting to that in the emergency.
And this is an e-signature form. So both sets of parents don't have to fill this out, by the way. Only one. This is giving us consent to treat if we cannot reach you. So, or the doctor, whatever treatment he deems necessary, you're giving them consent to do it. And this is a requirement that we will send out every year.
Okay, and now a really big one, the yellow and the blue forms. I'm sure a lot of you guys get emails from me a lot saying your forms are about to expire, please bring them in. With Magnus, you guys are going to get a notification 8 weeks before, okay? So that hopefully gives enough time to call the pediatrician, schedule an appointment. And I know a lot of people say, oh, they won't schedule me for this time. It's usually around their birthday, correct? Mm-hmm. Usually around their birthday. The thing I want to say about the yellow and blue form is up there it says August 10th. If you've already turned yours in, let's say you just turned yours in March, and then you have until next March, and I will upload it from now on. But from future, for whatever forms you get from future, you would have to upload it onto Magnus. Does that make sense? So, the August 10th does not apply to everyone for that. A lot of kids, the kids who have summer birthdays or whatnot, who do their checkups and everything during the summer, they'll have to upload over the summer. But if you just turn one in and it's good for a year, and a lot of what we're talking with Dr. Herrera and Dr. Floyd is they were pretty adamant about it, and they say it's just the best practice, is we're going to require that every single year. Which, I mean, it's not rare. I believe that most children do go, and they should be going to the doctor annually for their checkup. So I'm going to show you how to turn it in. The yellow form. Do you guys know what the yellow form is? It's the physical, the annual physical. A lot of times I get the question, wait, do you need the yellow or the blue? The yellow form is the annual physical form. It's that yellow one. Okay, so that's the one we're going to need annually. The blue form is vaccinations. Most children are done with their vaccinations by some by kindergarten, some even by pre-K 4, but depending on the doctor and the parent, some by first grade. Okay, so as soon as that is uploaded complete, you'll see the box that says complete. If you leave the doctor's office and it does not say complete, ask them to check that out. And then you will not need that form until 7th grade. Yes? Okay, great question. Okay, so they can either fax it in, or you can scan, if your doctor won't do that, you can scan, fax it, or take a screenshot of it.
Or mail it.
Or mail it, yes. So let's say, you want to do it with your phone, which in my opinion would be the easiest, and I think that we're all pretty good at using our phone. You take a picture of the yellow form, you press upload, and you can get the app on your phone, the Magnus app, so you can...
You can visit Magnus. You can visit the website on your phone and just log into the school website. Go to Magnus.
I just did that now. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I got stuck in the past.
Yeah, with technical things, Ed will help you with
I mean,
that.
if you have technical issues because of you, just email me and I'll walk through them. And if you have a problem where you can't log in, I'll try to fix it.
Yeah, I think that the password is not matching.
You might be one of the people that are having issues. We have a couple that have that same issue. So the yellow form, your doctor can either upload it himself if they're tech savvy. If they don't want to do it, have them show you the form, and with your phone you can take a picture of the form and then go to the Magnus website and upload it. If they have a fax machine, they can fax it in. If they want to mail it, they can mail it. Well, to upload it, you would have to log into Magnus for them.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, most doctors are probably going to either they give you the form anyway because you all bring them. So if you have the form in your hand and you have a fax machine at home, you can fax it. If you have a phone, you can take a picture of it. Yes.
Fax it to whom?
I'll show you now. So this is.
That's why we have the training. We have the training.
This is how you would upload. So if you had the picture, you would click on upload, choose your file from your phone, and you can upload the scan or the picture. If you wanted to fax it, let me go back into it. If you want to fax it, you can click on no fax. It's going to give you a cover letter that you can fax, and on that cover letter, it'll have the information for you to fax it. So it obviously has the patient name, it has their Magnus number, and then it has the fax number right here. Okay? So when you're faxing it, you're not just faxing the form, you're going to fax the cover letter with the form, and then they'll know what to do with it. Okay?
And if you download the form from the site.
The blue and yellow you get from your doctor.
So they have.
Yeah.
Whenever you go to the doctor.
The one that you're always getting emails from about? Yes, Sophia?
Will there be, or is there a way that community pediatricians or healthcare providers can log in and essentially do this for you with like a medical record?
Say that again. If they could log in and do it for you?
Yeah.
I think that would just depend on if you want to give them their login information, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any way where a pediatrician has a login to Magnus. I can find out. I can ask them and see if they have a way of pediatrician. Is there a way to send it to them?
Yeah, now you bypass all this stuff, they can just fill it out.
I'll find out.
And send it.
I'll find out. I haven't. We didn't ask that question, but we'll find out. It's a good question.
Okay, so does that, and guys, we are going to be, in the policies, I just want to make this clear now, we are going to be a little more strict with them. We are going to give you 8 weeks in advance, like I said, to get on that appointment, X, Y, and Z. I mean, of course, if you tell me my pediatrician will absolutely not, I mean, we really are saying no exceptions, so I'll just leave it at that. But the thing is, and once again, this happens, and kids get sick, and then they have to postpone the appointment. But sometimes that form is due, and we don't see it till 3 months after. Once again, life happens, it's not a criticism, it's just, we do want to be right with our health and the policies, and if we ever get inspected or whatnot, we want to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. Yes?
I thought the yellow forms was due every 2 days.
Well, that's a very good question. For pre-K3, pre-K4, kindergarten, what we've been doing since I've been here is that one's required every single year because that's when they're most growing and whatnot. From 1st to 5th, I say every other. So now we're making it every year. Which they should be seeing the pediatrician every single year anyway, around their birthday.
And I don't want anybody to think if you come with a blue sheet in your hand to the office, we're not going to scream at you. We're not going to tell you to go away. What I'm going to do is print out your fax form and say, let's go fax it. Or I'll show you how to fax it. I mean, we're trying to get it so that we're not responsible for those forms because think about it. She's very busy. So she gets your blue form, puts it on her desk. Heaven forbid that form gets lost. I mean, we didn't do our jobs right. So we're trying to make it more efficient so that once you get that form, we can pretty quickly put it onto the system.
Okay, so blue and yellow form. Any questions on those? On the uploading? Yes?
I just had a question related to the notification. Will the notification be an email to us, or will it be in Magnus, a notification? Like
You'll get an email.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's not like you have to log in every single day and figure out what's going on. You'll get an email.
Okay.
And I will get notifications also. So it's not like I'm just pushing it on to you guys. I will be working, and if I see that something's wrong, I'll say, Ms. Falsetto, can you check on this or whatnot? We'll still be communicating. But
Just to confirm, the yellow and blue forms that you have for us in return, you're going to put that in?
yes, unless yours expires in June, July, or August, you are set. Okay? So those I really want to make a clear point on that. Okay, a question that parents had on Monday. Does your child take prescription medication during the school day? This is a daily medication, like Ritalin or insulin. Something along those lines. Because a lot of parents were like, oh, so now every time my child gets antibiotics, I have to fill out this form, turn it in. No, not that type of prescription medication. If your child is taking a daily medication that I need to administer here at school, That is the form that they need, okay? There's also one for non-prescription medications, which is Tylenol, ibuprofen. The question I get all the time for that form, which I'll get to it, but just since we're on the topic, I think it's the last form. A lot of times parents come and they say, I don't have that form from you signed from the doctor. And they say, can you just please give them Tylenol? It's just Tylenol. I'll tell you from experience, the one time I did do that, I was just Tylenol. And we were at a summer camp, so I had to monitor him for 24 hours literally. Okay? So it was pretty scary. Even I found myself saying, oh, it's just Tylenol. He had this new allergic reaction to Tylenol. I didn't have the form signed. Luckily he was okay. But, so that's why I am very strict about it, because I have experienced that. So please get that form. If you do want me to be able to administer, like let's say your child has 100 fever, you're in Fort Lauderdale, and we want to give that Tylenol or ibuprofen, get that form signed, okay? And then the other ones, this is where it sort of gets easier if your child doesn't have something. Yes?
Are those e-signatures down there? Like, which ones are, so the Tylenol and those ones, are those e-signatures or signatures?
Those are forms.
Forms.
Those are the forms, because the doctor has to sign, which are yellow. So then here it says, does your child have asthma? Now a step that Magnus takes, if your child has asthma, there's something the doctor can fill out, like what's their peak flow. Like, it's a lot more specific than before we just asked yes or no, or are they asthmatic. So now we can know. We can know a little bit more about that. Allergies, if your child has an allergy, and let me just say this also, if your child has an allergy, whether it be to a medication, a food, doesn't matter, if the doctor prescribes an EpiPen, we need one for the classroom and one for the clinic, okay? That's also if they're going on a field trip, they can take one. So yeah, that's something that's sort of been a little gray also. 2 for the campus, if your child has an allergy. Yes?
I'm sorry, going back to the Tylenol form for a minute. Who has to sign that?
I'll show you. Here, let me show you.
The doctor has to sign the Tylenol form?
I'll show you. It's the one I send over the summer. It's one I send over the summer. So permission for over-the-counter medication. This is the form. And then they can check off whichever ones they're okay with, whichever one, and they won't check off for the ones they're not okay with. Physician's signature.
So they have to sign it.
This one's not new. I'm sorry?
They have to sign it and we have to go.
Yeah.
It's not just like, writing it.
No. This is a form. Unless it says e-signature, like the consent decree, it's a signed one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're on the same page? Okay. And then these forms, does your child have diabetes? Does your child have seizure disorder? And then they have forms for those. So really, if your child doesn't have diabetes, allergy, asthma, seizure, or anything, you really don't even have them. You just have to write no, and then you're done. And then you're completely done until you get a notification through email that says, Daniela has a requirement that needs to be taken care of, or whatnot. And like I said, they'll follow up with you. I get notifications every time I think something's uploaded, if I remember correctly. So I will be able to track what's going on. Okay? So, like I said in the email, this does need to be filled out before the first day of school. So that, God forbid, there's an emergency or something the first day of school, we're taken care of, we're ready, prepared. Any questions? Yes?
So for the allergy form, I need to print it out and then when I go to my pediatrician for the checkup, I have that.
Yeah.
And then it's that.
Really, nothing's changed with the forms and everything. It's just where we're uploading it and grabbing it. Yeah. And before I would send it to you, I would send every single person an allergy action plan form. But now, just if you need it, you print it out and you bring it. And a lot of parents ask me, oh, this is also something I wanted to say. A lot of parents ask me, nothing's changed for Jimmy since last year with allergies. Can I just have that form? No, unfortunately not. I talked to pediatricians about it because I think it's a pain too. Sometimes I say, nothing's changed, and they just use the same one. The pediatricians say, no, we need to film it every year. We actually need to reassess, or whatnot. And this sort of gives us proof that they are still allergic or they're not still allergic. They still do need that EpiPen or whatnot. So I think right now, I don't know if it does seem tedious or difficult. It actually is pretty simple. The hardest one is the first one, filling out all information, and then it's a lot of yes and no questions. You do have to print out the forms, but it's really not as different as the last time when I used to send them. Yes?
Quick question. For the allergies, is it the pediatrician or the allergist who needs to sign the form?
That's sort of that's a good question. Sometimes the allergist does that, and sometimes they say like, oh, my pediatrician will just put it. I would recommend the allergist, honestly, but sometimes people say, oh, my pediatrician can just do it. So it depends on your relationship with it, but I would recommend allergist. Okay.
form that we're gonna be uploading here is the actual handbook. We're gonna put it on here and there'll be an e-signature part there, so you don't have to sign the handbook and bring that page back, because a lot of it does relate with medical now, so we wanna make sure that you sign it and that it's in our system.
And like I said, a lot of the independent schools are moving in this direction because it's just what we're doing. And they really do say, we're trying to get all the questions and everything answered now. Because at the beginning of the year, as you guys know, there's so much going on. Just sort of like right now, but just to sort of start the year off fresh and not having to say, what form do I need to bring in, not getting phone calls from me. Having this done right now, set, and the first day of school job off, you know what I mean? I mean, it's sort of to take off another little pressure from the beginning. So we're trying to answer all the questions now. Figure out what you have. If you are having login information stuff, try and log in today, this week. Let's figure it out so that over the summer, everyone can rest assured.
Yeah, and I want everybody to rest assured, we're not trying to get you not to talk to Nurse Allyce. We love her. We want you to talk to her. We just want to make sure that we get the information we need in the system. And it's really for the safety of our children. So it's critical that we have this correct. Yes.
The question, so could we be expecting this week with the login information?
Your login is your net classroom, so you should have that from.
Yeah.
So if you can log into the website, you can log into this.
I have a question about that.
The handbook isn't finished yet, so it's not up here yet.
But
It'll be here as soon as you'll see one of the questions will be, have you read the handbook? Yes or no. If you click no, you're going to get the handbook.
on this list.
On this list.
Okay, now the answer question. Yeah.
So once you download the app, it asks you for a username and a
But it's not the app, it's through the website.
Okay, but if you want to have the app on your phone so that you can upload photos from your phone and do it a little bit more efficiently when you're on the go, would that password and username be the same one that we have for the school, or do we have to?
No, you have to go through the school.
Sorry, I think I said that you had it. I'm sorry. I think
You can't use the app because we're making sure that you verify through Blackbox. So if you do it through the app, you're actually going directly through Magnus, and they won't allow you to
So
do
we
it.
don't get the app.
Don't use the website on your phone.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, I think I could be on that.
So we don't get the download ones,
Don't download that Magnus app. That's really for faculty to do that emergency 911.
I think I said the end. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
And we can upload
Well, I can't hear you.
from the website.
Sorry, Nick.
We have a website on our phone and we take the picture. We have a picture of the document of the due form on our phone. We open the website, we can upload the form.
Yeah, so exactly like I did here. Yeah, so exactly like I did here. You would log into the St. Philip's website, go to Magnus, go to upload form, and then you can go through your camera roll on your phone and upload that JPEG. Yeah, you're welcome. It's easier to do it on an iPad because it gives you a bigger screen, but you can do it on your phone.
Does anybody else have any kind of questions?
And again, if you have questions, you can email me, you can email Allyce.
Yeah. Simple.
I respond to all emails. Early in the
Right.
morning.
Thank you so much. Exactly half an hour as I promised.